Hey guys, today I'll be talking to Zivsick, a Canadian rapper who just dropped his EP, Who Are You, a couple of weeks ago. Who Are You is a experimental rap EP that well, pushes genre conventions, but also doesn't sacrifice on the fun that Zivsick has in his music. If you like people like JPEG Mafia, who Zivsick himself credits as his biggest influence, I think you'll really like what he has to offer here. And, just give his music a listen. And without further ado, here is the interview. Hi, Zipsick.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you for coming onto the blog for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Right, so just to kind of kick things off, right, how about you tell me a bit more about yourself?
Okay, sure. I am a producer, rapper, singer, songwriter from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. I'm 18. I produce and mix and master all of my own music myself, and I just released an EP 2 weeks ago called "Who Are You."
Right. And since we are on the topic of who are you, hence the entire interview, could you tell
Yeah.
me more about it?
Well, I started working on it last year in August, like around like July or August or something. I started working on the song The Weekend first.
Right.
Um, and I was actually planning on releasing it back then, way back in August. But I was never happy with it, so I just kept working and like revising it hundreds of times. Like the amount of versions I have on my laptop is crazy. Um, and I initially wanted Who Are You to be an album, but over time, like, having writer's block, producer's block, anything like that, like it's just like it was hard to keep up the pace of it.
Right.
And I ended up just deciding to keep it 6 songs EP, leave it at that. And it's my first solo project, and I just wanted to show that I can, like, be experimental, or I'm versatile, because in my older music it was very like pop rap, like there wasn't really much different to it, and this was after months of not releasing anything or even talking about music, so I just wanted to come back with like some completely different music, and that's what I did with it.
And so, in terms of completely different music, The Weekend was like the first offering of that, right?
Yeah, that was the first single. Yeah.
Right, because I mean, we've been following on each other on Twitter for a while now, and I remember you
Hmm.
promoting The Weekend.
Yeah.
And the main thing that I really remember from that is like the cover art, which has this like gecko lizard thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you tell me more about like why it's in there and like just the track in general as well?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I make my own cover art as well.
Mhm.
So I was brainstorming ideas for a cover art for months, because like I had the song done, I think last year in November, and it released in February. So I was working for months trying to figure out what kind of cover art I want, and I was doing some housekeeping, and I found this little like lizard, like this little toy lizard
Right.
in my room that I don't know where it came from, but I thought it was really cool. So I took a picture of it, and that's really the end of it. Then I just designed the cover art with, like, how it's like, um he's orange and he's got like the blue shorts on. So I made the rest of the cover art like orange and blue, and like there's a little like purple in there and stuff, and yellow.
Right, right.
And I just wanted it to be very colorful, because I think the song itself is very like bright and colorful.
Mm.
The lizard has no meaning to it. I saw it in my house and I thought he looked cool.
Well, maybe it could be something like, the leader's always been in your house, your music. This experimental side of you has always been inside you, so like kind of props itself up. Oh no,
Good
I'm just
point.
like
Yeah.
but yeah, so how about the EP in general? Could you tell me more about your influences? Like who did you listen to the most to jump into this like experimental side of your music?
My biggest influence for sure would be JPEG Mafia. I listened to him a lot during the process of making Who Are You, and even before, I've been listening to him for years. And I just think like creativity, like how unique he makes his music. Like no song sounds alike, but they all have that sort of JPEG Mafia like formula to it. So I was really inspired by that. Um, I was inspired by Flume a lot
Mm.
too. That's a it's you can really hear it in the song Voices in the instrumental for it. Um, yeah, it was mainly JPEG Mafia, Flume, and like some like hyper pop like here
Mm.
and there. That's what I was mainly listening to
So this
in the
more
process.
aggressive-ish sound, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
like, what made you change from pop rap to this sound?
Um, I started with the pop rap because I thought it would just be like, um, I thought it would be easy for anyone who I know in person to like, listen
Mm.
to that pop rap stuff and like they'd be into it. Because most of the people in my city, I live in a very small city, so like there's not a lot of people who are into like, the abrasive like hardcore rap, like, any JPEG Mafia or anything
Right, right.
along those lines, right? So I started with the pop rap just to reel people in that like, hey, I'm making music. This is what it is. Hope you like it. And then after taking that huge break in between releases, I realized like I don't want to continue doing this. This is too easy. I wanted to give
Mm.
myself a challenge, and I wanted to see who out of the people who listen to my older music will still be here when I change and like when I evolve and stuff. So that's why I changed.
Right. So in the end, it's to satisfy yourself more than others, because really that's who your music is for, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Mm. And well, I do have another question as well, and that's whether you have a favorite song on the EP.
Oh,
Mm.
good question. Um, initially I thought Voices was the best one, but then as I continue to listen, I'm starting to become more of a fan of Level Up.
Oh,
I think just because I think it's like the best writing I've ever had in like any of my music. I think the two verses on that song are like the best I've ever done so far. So probably Level Up.
can you tell me more about like the writing in that song?
Sure. Level Up, I wrote a lot about my inspirations. So I name dropped in the first verse, I name dropped JPEG Mafia, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Flume, like so many people in the first verse. And I was just basically like um giving a shout out, I guess. I mean, they don't need my shout out, but just like, telling everybody like without these people, I would not be here right now making the music that I'm making right now. Um, so that was like really big about the first verse. I just wanted to pay homage to anyone who's inspired me.
Yeah.
And then in verse two, I just wanted to like lift myself up, like just talk about how I've leveled up. That's how I got level up from.
Right.
Um, and just like I just talked a lot of shit. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, okay. I talked a lot of shit in verse two. I just talked about how, like I'm doing this, I'm cool as hell. Just very confident. That was like I was very confident as I was making that song. So that's probably why it's my favorite as well. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, personally, I think confidence in rap is just something that should be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just part of the genre at this point.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
Without that, it's like, you don't have anything.
yeah, exactly. And well, there was another question as well, and that was whether you would take this experimental rap sound further. Do you see like your career going more in this direction, or might you want to jump over to like other sounds as well?
I say I definitely want to continue with it. Although I am planning on going into different genres, different subgenres as well in the future. But right now, this experimental like hip hop sound is really working. And I enjoy making it. I enjoy putting it out. And a lot of people are listening and enjoying the music. So I don't see a reason to stop. Um, and especially since it's probably like I listen to experimental hip hop more than any other genre. So I think there's always going to be elements of that in my music, even after I transition to, if I go back to pop rap or if I do some like boom bap or like some rock, something like, there's always going to be elements of that in there, like of experimental music.
Right, right. It's basically just gonna be part of your musical DNA in the future.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe one day you might just make mainstream experimental rap if that's a thing.
I mean, yeah, like sort of like a JPEG Mafia thing. He's not at the mainstream yet, but he's
That's true.
big. So hope
Mm.
so.
And well, I just have one last question for you actually. And that is, what are your plans for the future?
Ooh. Well, I'm planning on consistently releasing more music this year. I have another EP in the works of remixes of Who Are You that I have not announced, but should be out next month. um, I already have 2 songs done for it, and I think I'm also going to do 6 tracks for this one. Um, I have plans on a few singles during the summer, and then I'm going to take a little break again after that because I'm going to be going to university after that. So
Mm,
it's going to be, really like I won't have a lot of time,
yeah.
but I am still planning on releasing a full album, my debut album. The plan is my birthday next year because it's on a Friday next year. So
Oh,
next March, hopefully, will be my debut album. That's the future plans. Yeah.